Due to strong sexual content, viewer discretion is advised. Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, from former Subway sandwich king to child sex scandal.
This is about using wealth, status, and secrecy to illegally exploit children.
For the first time ever, the secret audio tapes of Jared Fogle.
I love the middle school tonight. Girl was starting to get, you know? Yeah. Because you know how much I love big, you know, I love you.
The woman who helped bring him down.
He told me how he would get children.
How to gain their trust so they can be abused.
A Dr. Phil exclusive.
What turns you on the most? Like the young girls or the young boys?
You know, both of them do.
Take me through the moment that he blatantly talks about children and sex for the first time.
Why she says it took so long to arrest him.
That's haunted me for years.
And
I don't trust people like I used to.
the shocking phone call that catches him talking about child sex.
I had this little boy. It's amazing.
No one has heard this
It just felt so good. I felt so good.
until now.
You want to watch me be a girl too?
This was phone sex for him.
I could see him. Yeah, 6th, 7th grade working on this.
Jared Fogle's secret audio tapes.
It was a stunning fall from grace. Former Subway spokesperson Jared Fogle, best known for showing off his massive weight loss by holding up a giant pair of pants, was charged in August with the unthinkable: sexual acts with minors and the distribution and receipt of child pornography. Then, in a shocking move, instead of claiming his innocence, Fogle agreed to plead guilty to possession and distribution of child pornography and to traveling across state lines to have sex with at least 2 teenage girls. For the very first time, you will hear exclusive secret audio recordings that one woman says will take you inside the twisted mind of Jared Fogle.
Love to like slip a video camera in there, you know? At the very least, and watch him strip down.
Unaware that he was being taped, Fogle talked about his darkest desires
Early middle school, I'm trying one of the best.
and his plans to lure unsuspecting young children.
Well, it depends who's ready for what. And, you know, who's going to give you the glance, you know what I mean? Just trying to get as close as possibly can to them.
The recordings were part of the investigation that led to charges against the former Subway spokesman. Today's show is an important message to any parent because, as I often say, it is those you least suspect that can end up being the most dangerous threat to your children. Everyone knew Jared Fogle as the friendly-faced pitchman of the billion-dollar sandwich chain Subway. But prosecutors now say that behind that jovial smile lurked a predator who preyed on the young and the innocent. Take a look.
Bombshell tonight, police investigators raid the home of Subway sandwich superstar pitchman Jared.
The pitchman, known as Jared, is under investigation for what appears to be a child pornography case.
Officers are inside Jared's home. They have been carrying items out, and they are analyzing those items inside the van parked in his driveway.
A stunning fall for someone the world came to love as the Subway guy. Before Subway, Fogle was an overweight college student.
The straw that broke the camel's back for me was getting on the scale, seeing that I weighed 425 pounds.
Jared Fogle was an institution in America. He was the guy that you thought of when you went to get a Subway sandwich. We would never have thought that Jared would be capable of such heinous acts.
He founded the Jared Foundation to encourage kids to eat healthy. But 2 months ago, former foundation director Russell Taylor was arrested on charges he was producing child pornography.
Investigators looked at nearly 160,000 text messages, more than 47,000 images, and more than 3,300 videos.
It was today the prosecutors revealed the shocking details of their case. Fogle having sex with girls as young as 14 years old and having pornographic images of children who are much younger than that.
Today, Jared Fogle has been charged and has admitted to participating in a 5-year criminal scheme to exploit children.
Jared, do you have anything to say on the charges against you?
As part of his plea deal, Fogle will go to prison for anywhere from 5 to 12.5 years.
This is a celebrity who had access, power, and resources to do anything he wanted in the world, but he chose to take advantage of children.
One woman says Jared Fogle is a monster, and she made it her life's mission to stop him from hurting children. Former Florida journalist Rochelle Herman-Walrond claims that she worked with the FBI for almost 5 years, secretly recording Fogle, playing into his twisted fantasies and preserving every sick thing he said to use as evidence against him. Today, for the very first time, she is sharing audio from a phone call she says she taped between her and Jared Fogle. I have to warn you, today's content is graphic and absolutely not for children. When did you first meet him?
I met Jared on my radio show. The American Heart Association brought him in as their guest.
How did you find him when you first talked to him and met him?
He was friendly.
Was he flirty with you at all?
Yes, he was.
How so?
He would tell me that I was amazing and that I was beautiful and that he wanted to get to know me better.
Did you think he was just being overly friendly, or did you think he was hitting on you?
Well, I thought he was hitting on me.
And how did you react?
I just smiled back, and that was it.
When was the first time you heard him say something that a flag popped up and you went, whoa?
It was that visit.
It was that very first visit?
Very first visit. I did my radio show with him initially in the morning, and then I talked to him about meeting my children. My children wanted to meet someone famous.
And how was he with your children?
He was very nice.
Did you get any sense of anything out of the
No, I did not. I did not.
And how old were your children then?
They were 7 and 8. My son couldn't make it, but my daughter and her 2 friends did, and they were very excited.
And what did he say that popped up that first red flag?
We were at the middle school in Sarasota, and they had the children come into the auditorium. But prior to that, through our conversations, he told me how hot he thought middle school girls were.
So how does this come up? You're there, you're mic'd. Was he mic'd?
He was mic'd as well.
Okay, so the two of you are in the auditorium. Nobody else is around. Were the mics hot?
Yes, they were. He did not know that. And when he said this, my cameraman looked out from behind the camera, and I could see his mouth just drop, because I was thinking to myself, did he really just say that to me? And after I saw the reaction on my cameraman's face, I was stunned. I was shocked.
How does that come up in a conversation? You're there talking to this guy. You just met him that day, right?
That's correct.
You don't know this guy, and he just turns to you and says...
Yes. And when I thought about it, this individual must want to get caught. We were talking about being excited at the middle school and talking with the children, and that's when he said that.
But what's going through your head then? What?
I was sick to my stomach.
Did you and your cameraman talk about it?
Yes, we did.
What did you guys say?
We couldn't believe what he had said.
Did you think about reporting it somewhere? To the police or to Subway or to anybody? What did you...
Yes, we did talk about that, but my cameraman had told me at the time that it would be hearsay because we didn't have anything.
You weren't rolling tape?
No.
When was your next time to talk to him?
In November of 2006, he came back to the area.
Okay, so this is about 6 months later.
That's correct.
How did he get booked on your show a second time?
Through the American Heart Association contacting me. I had a health talk show.
When they called to book him a second time, did you consider saying, guys, you know what? I'm not comfortable having this guy on my show.
I wasn't comfortable having him on my show, but as a journalist, I wanted to dig deeper. I wanted to find more about, is what I heard correct? I believed in my gut it was, and I just wanted to follow my instincts.
What was going through your mind when you met him the second time?
I was interested to find out how this interview was going to go, if he would say anything else to me. I kept calm. I kept my ears open to hear anything. And At that time, I was able to obtain his cell phone number, and he obtained mine.
Did that worry you?
It worried me, but if he was going to say something again, I wanted to be able to have the opportunity to hear it.
You're ready for it this time.
I was ready for it. And soon after that, he had called me on my cell phone, and out of the blue once again, he started saying things.
What did he say this time?
Unfortunately, that dialogue, it just escapes me. I don't remember what I had said or what he had said. It was very creepy. I went right to my station manager and I told him what happened.
Did the two of you decide, let's call the cops?
My station manager told me at that time that it would be a he said, she said, and to stay in contact with him and see where that goes.
Well, he's right about that. Because all he had to do was say, I didn't say that.
Yes.
Did you two start talking back and forth?
Yes, we did.
Did you get his trust?
It's as if he trusted me almost instantly.
What was his purpose or excuse for calling you? Like, hey, it's Jared, what?
Oh, he would always want to talk to me. He would always want to get to know me better.
At that point, had you decided in your mind this guy's bad news?
Yes. I was following a journalistic instinct.
So at this point, you've become an investigative reporter with him.
Right.
In spring of '07, this is the first time you recorded him talking about children, right?
What I did was I had him call in the call-in line that he had called in before in previous interview, and it's a known recording line. He knew that, and that was when the recording took place.
Who brought up kids first? You
He did. I never brought up children.
Yeah. How'd he bring them up this time?
He brought them up in the way that he was excited about children, that what excited him about children. He told me how he would get children.
He's crossed a threshold. He's decided,
that's right,
I got a kindred spirit here. And so he starts talking to you more and more, right?
Yes, he does.
Were you believing that he was this indiscriminate in the things he was saying?
I was believing it. I was thinking also at the same time, is this fantasy talk? But I knew it was not fantasy talk because of the things that he would tell me.
We're going to hear, for the first time ever, Jared Fogle in one of these recorded conversations. Take me through the moment that he blatantly talks about children and sex for the first time.
Coming up, one of the secret phone calls that helped to bring Jared Fogle down.
You want to watch me be a girl too?
Yes.
What will you do?
Whatever it is you tell me.
You'll let your hands so much.
You go to the FBI. At what point did they ask you to assist them?
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil. Is this uncle too affectionate?
Grace, I love you with all my heart. You're one of my best friends in the world.
With his 16-year-old niece.
What bothers you about the letter?
It sounds like a love letter.
You put whipped cream on your neck, and Grace says you ask her to lick it off.
I don't remember doing that.
It makes my mind go to a place where I don't want it to go.
The creep meter is pegging over here.
That's Monday. We now return to From Subway Sandwich King to Child Sex Scandal, Jared Fogle's secret audio tapes.
Take me through the moment that he blatantly talks about children and sex for the first time.
He would talk about what he would like to do to children, what he would like children to do to me, what he's had children do to him, and he wanted me to have this special trip with him to Chicago. There's crazy clubs that he wanted to bring me to and share in his fetishes. It was very creepy and very scary.
So at some point you get scared enough, though, that you go to a friend and you go to the FBI.
That's correct. I was very concerned that maybe he was catching on, that I was baiting him in a sense, and I was in fear for my life.
Did you ever think that he was concerned that you might rat him out?
No, he never did.
You didn't think he thought he suspected you in any way?
No, I did not. It was just before I went to the FBI that I felt this was just too big. It needed to go to the proper authorities.
Okay, so take me through this FBI visit. What happened?
They brought us to the back room, and they looked back at me, and they said, "Is this who I think it is?" I said, "Yes, it is."
So what information did you show them?
Text messages. I showed them the one recording that I did.
Okay, so you go to the FBI. It immediately becomes an operation. At what point did they ask you to assist them?
That day, that very moment, they told me that I'm already in position with him. I have, you know, a rapport with him, and asked me if I would be willing to continue this as an undercover asset.
Did you hesitate?
Not for a second.
But they wanted you to record everything.
There was a protocol that I would need to follow verbally on the recording as the date and time.
What kinds of things did you need to have on the tapes for them to be useful?
Talking about children. They wanted names, places. They wanted as much information as I possibly could get.
We're going to hear, for the first time ever, Jared Fogle in one of these recorded conversations. Now, at this point, you had been talking to him for 4 years. Mm-hmm. You have established with him a relationship that he perceives to be one of trust, so he's comfortable with you.
Very comfortable.
So let's take a listen to this.
This is Rochelle Herman, and this is a call received from Jared Fogle. Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. I just tried calling you.
I know. It went straight to voicemail. It's weird. I don't know why.
Does it to all of our phones. My phone keeps dropping calls.
Yeah, I know.
So what are you up to?
Do you know that? Do you know how much I love you?
I think I'm really getting to know.
Good.
No.
I hope so.
Yes. And you? Do you realize? Do you realize?
I think so.
You think so?
I think so.
You've got to be kidding me. You should know that.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Are you going to show me?
And how would you like me to show you? I have to see you in person.
I can tell you from listening to this is relational for him. You know, it's like, hey, sweetie, and he's totally in.
He is.
When do I get to see you?
Well, you're going to be coming here for Super Bowl, right?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Unfortunately, I'm going to be visiting with my mom, but I'm making arrangements to, you know, come back a bit earlier so that I can.
When are you coming back, you think?
Well, you're going to be at the Super Bowl. I'm not going to be able to get back until, I mean, it's super late. It's basically the red eye Sunday night. So
okay.
By the time I get back, you know, it's Monday.
Yep.
So
am I going to get to see Kathy before that, I hope?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There's a Kathy referred to here.
Kathy is and was just a made-up name.
And then I would have, I mean, I wish I knew that before, but I mean, it doesn't make a difference because my mom's sick. But
no, so you got to do it. No, absolutely, you got to do what you got to do. I understand completely.
But, you know, I've been very excited and looking forward to being with you.
Okay, so here we played that just to show the relationship you're using with him and the tactics you're using to always be just out of reach. You come up with this excuse, this ploy where he can never quite get to you.
That's correct.
In this next clip, you found a way to engage him and still avoid talking about children yourself. Jared would ask you if you enjoyed some very disturbing acts.
Coming up.
I think he was excited just talking about the children.
This was kind of phone sex for him.
That's right.
So you think he's aroused during these conversations? In 45 years, this is a first for me.
Adam has trust issues with women.
Including the ones he's seeing while he's married to you?
When you walk in these shoes, you'll know what it's like.
Well, lady, when you walk in these shoes, you'll see bull when you see it.
This November,
I am very in love with Kit Moore.
she's already married,
She wanted a divorce.
but obsessed with a country star.
He signed your back?
I got it tattooed.
You're serving your husband with a restraining order, and you've got "Marry Me, Kit Moore" painted on your window? What are you, 12?
An uncle too affectionate with his 16-year-old niece.
You put whipped cream on your neck, and Grace says you asked her to lick it off.
I don't remember doing that.
The creep meter is pegging over here.
They survived a house of horrors.
Locks on the refrigerator, blood splattered on a wall.
The children speak out for the first time.
You found some guns?
Yeah, we were gonna go inside and kill all of them.
Plus, the shocking stories that made headlines.
I wanted to go blind permanently.
The woman who did the unthinkable.
She put liquid drain cleaner into her eyes.
I couldn't do anything but scream.
You can't see me right now, but I have a look of complete shock on my face.
A surrogate mom scam. She faked her pregnancies.
After 5 months, I'm told there is no baby.
How long do I have to be punished for this?
He destroyed our lives.
This is the month
Did he kidnap your daughter?
He did. No.
where anything can happen.
She asked me to come get her.
You're lying.
I'm lying? Why don't you shut the hell up? I'm not going to shut my mouth. If I didn't think I'd go to jail for it, I would go across this 3 feet of floor right here, and I'd take his damn head off.
From Subway Sandwich King to child sex scandal continues.
We are talking about some very disturbing content today. For the first time, we are hearing a secret audio recording made of former Subway spokesman Jared Fogle. I just want to remind you that the content of the tape is disturbing, it is graphic, and it is just simply not a topic for children. Jared would ask you if you enjoyed some very disturbing acts, but you found a way to engage him and still avoid talking about children yourself. What are you thinking while this is going on?
I'm removing myself from who I am and embracing an imaginary person. I had to be 2 separate people in order to continue on with this investigation.
Let's just take a listen.
You want to watch me be a young girl too?
Yes,
Do you?
I do.
What will you do?
Whatever you tell me.
What would you like to do?
I'd like you to tell me what to
Ooh, young boy.
do. Yeah, whatever it is you tell me. I want that.
Always for me?
To turn you on.
Yeah.
Tell me.
It would turn me on so much.
I'll do anything for you.
I want Cassie to be involved with this too, baby.
Oh, she will.
Good.
She definitely will.
So much. And I would fly all 3 of us to clear across the world if we need to.
Really? Like where?
To Thailand or wherever we want to go.
Yeah? Well, where would we, I mean, would we have to go, away somewhere?
Well, we could. It would just make things a lot easier. If we're going to try to get some young kids with us, it would be a lot easier probably.
Yeah. I mean, okay. I'll do whatever you ask me to. I told you that.
He seems to be really impassioned during these conversations.
Yes, I think he was excited just talking about the children.
So you think he's aroused during these conversations?
Yes, I do.
This was kind of phone sex for him.
That's right.
You know, there were parts of this conversation where you direct it to something innocent like the weather to cool him down so the conversation would last longer, and you can get more information from him. Let's listen to this so people can understand what's going on.
I can't wait to see you, baby.
I want to give you everything that you want.
I think you're very special. I always have.
Well, thank you.
I love you so much, Rochelle. You know that?
Well, I can feel it.
Good.
Is it cold where you're at?
Yes, it was up to like 50 degrees today, which is not too bad for us. I mean, we were really cold. Like last week tonight, it was -10.
What's going on during that conversation? What do you think he's doing?
I think he's aroused.
Is that why you turned it to the weather?
Yes. I was disgusted enough with this phone call that I needed a break myself. And in order to do that, changing the subject, but still wanting him to, continue what it was that he was saying.
Does that get to you?
Yes, it does.
Because you're actually flirting with somebody that you suspect to be a pedophile. Do you hang the phone up and say, I want to go take 3 showers?
I certainly did feel that way.
Did he ever seem to have a filter about this? Like, should I say this to Rochelle or not? I mean, did he just blurt this out?
He had no filter whatsoever.
I'm asking speculation here because what's in his brain, we don't know that, of course. We know he's got to be mentally ill to be doing this, but you spent time with him on the phone and some in person. What do you think went through his mind that made him think that this was okay to tell you?
Coming up.
Jared asked you to describe the children you have access to who could possibly become his victims.
Well, there's Melissa. She's 7 now.
Okay. Tell me about her.
From Subway Sandwich King to child sex scandal continues.
What do you think went through his mind that made him think that this was okay to tell you?
I honestly don't know.
Because you don't
me.
put out the vibe that this is okay.
No, I don't put out that vibe.
How did you get him to trust you?
It was almost instantaneous. It was as though his attraction towards me equated to trust.
Jared asked you to describe the children you have access to who could possibly become his victims. And you go along with this. You made up characters, you make up details about them. You are not describing real children here.
That's correct.
You've totally fabricated this to just give him something to focus on, but these are not anybody's real children.
That's
I want
correct.
to be very clear about that.
Thank you.
So let's listen to what was said.
Are there any of your kids' friends that you think are pretty hot, or what do you think?
Oh, yeah. That's why, I mean, I was excited.
Which ones?
I was looking forward to, you described to me, kind of what to do, and, I have a party that I planned, and I thought, because you were telling me.
Which friends do you think are cute?
Oh, there's a number of them. They all have different personalities, and...
Well, tell me about them.
Yeah, well, there's Melissa. No, she's 7 now.
Okay. Tell me about her.
She's kind of shy. And, but she likes coming over. I think she has a tough home life or something. I'm not sure. I know her parents are divorced. So sometimes her mom drops her off, or sometimes her dad. So I know she's actually coming to the party. She wants to go. And then there is Megan. And Megan, she actually just turned 8. So, but she's kind of big for her age. She's like a tomboy kind of, you know, how the little girls are sometimes. There's Brad. Brad's...
How old is he?
Brad's 10. He's 10 years old. He's full of energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he see me in a bikini?
Yes. Yeah. We have a pool here.
So which of the kids do you think are most promising?
Well, I mean, they all have. That's what I was gonna say. I mean, I invited only, you know, really the ones that I, for the party that I don't know, that I thought that would be good. Yeah.
That's good. That's very good.
Okay, now, you created these kids totally out of fiction.
Correct.
Did you know what age he preferred?
He told me that he preferred middle school, about around the age 11.
Coming up.
Have you thought about Brad?
Yeah.
Did you give him a chance?
Yes.
Would you share it with me?
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil. An uncle too affectionate with his niece?
You put whipped cream on your neck, and Grace says you asked her to lick it off.
I don't remember doing that.
That's Monday. From Subway Sandwich King to child sex scandal continues.
In the next portion of this conversation, he talks about the ages he prefers, and you get him to talk about what age range he likes best. He didn't give a specific preference. He seemed interested in both sexes and a pretty wide range of ages. Let's listen to what he says.
So you said that I was trying to figure out, you know, what age, because you know what it is that you like. So I was trying to figure that out, because I wanted to surprise you.
I like all ages. That's the thing. I mean, I like all of them, you know.
Well, what makes it different? I mean, from one age to another, why just...
Well, it just depends who's ready for what, and, you know, who's going to give you the glance, you know what I mean? I mean, part of it's going to be you sexing yourself up as much as you possibly can, too, you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's not a problem.
Do you have any thong bikinis or not really?
Yes, I do.
Do you?
You know, the kids, they like to dress up in costumes. So I dress up in costumes.
So that would be, yeah, exactly. Just trying to get as close as you possibly can to them. You know?
Yeah. I mean, what has worked before? So I know.
Have you thought about Brad?
Yeah.
If you give him a chance?
Yes.
Would you share it with me?
Yes, I would.
Yeah?
I want out, yes. I mean, what has worked, you know, before? You know, what is, you know, proven to work to get their attention?
Well, I just think I think it's going to be a case-by-case thing. You know, it's not going to be any specifics. I think it's going to be just trying to set it up as best we can and trying to get them as sexed up as we can, and then just sort of taking it from there and seeing what sort of pans out, you know? That's what I think. I think it's going to be you in as skimpy an outfit as we can get you at, number one. You know, and just really getting you and seeing which girls and which guys are checking you out, which ones keep looking, and that kind of thing, and then trying to set it up where we get you, you know, we get the three of us, you know, sort of separated out a little bit. I think that would be the best.
When you had that conversation with him at the time, how did you feel when he said those things?
Disgusting. I felt like I was so dirty. My soul was dirty.
And when you listen to it back now, after the fact, knowing everything that's transpired, how do you feel about it now?
I feel the same way. I feel the same way listening to those tapes, in the sense that I was able to do that, to talk to Jared in a way where he would reveal his secrets, and I would do it all over again. But it's something that has forever changed me. I'm not as innocent as I used to be. I'm broken.
Was it worth it?
Coming up.
Well, it gets worse. In this same recording, Jared flips very quickly from phone sex mode to a very matter-of-fact approach on how to lure children.
You need to see one of these employees possibility for us.
From Subway Sandwich King to child sex scandal continues.
Jared Fogle has been charged and has admitted to participating in a 5-year criminal scheme to exploit children. Let's call this what it is. This is about using wealth, status, and secrecy to illegally exploit children.
Was it worth it?
Yes. Sorry.
How has it left you broken?
I don't trust people like I used to.
Right.
I have nightmares. Thank you. I have nightmares constantly.
Well, it gets worse. In this same recording, Jared flips very quickly from phone sex mode to a very matter-of-fact approach on how to lure children.
Yes.
How to gain their trust so they can be abused. How to gain their trust so you can violate the trust. Mm-hmm. Let's listen to that.
Now I want to know what turns you on the most? Like the young girls or the young boys?
You know, both of them do.
They do? How are they?
Both of them.
Can you explain? I really want to know.
Well, can you see, can you just see one of these employees possibility for us?
Yeah.
Would that turn you on?
Well, how would that happen? How would that happen?
Well, if we get them segregated out, and that's the thing, versus the three of us, when we just sort of start talking or whatever, and we start just sharing stories, and then, we get a little closer and a little closer and a little closer, and before you know it, it just starts to happen.
So it's not that hard to do?
No, not at all.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Does that turn you on?
Yes, I'm intrigued.
Are you?
I am, very much. I would like to know.
Good.
I would like to know.
I think it would be amazing. It would be so much fun for us, for you and I.
Is there any kind of personality to look for?
I think it's just going to depend on the situation. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I think that girl from the broken home could be a possibility,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think that. And, just show some affection.
Well, he zeroes right in on the vulnerability, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
When those conversations would end, how would they wind up?
I would scream into a pillow. I would punch a pillow. I would curl up.
How did the FBI respond when they would hear these things? What was their reaction? Because it took years.
The reason why it took so long, they told me he was not the main target and that there were others included in what they had discovered in their investigation.
Coming up.
How old are your kids again?
10 and 11.
Will you let me see your kids naked?
Closed captioning provided by
Abdominal pain, bloating? You may have IBS. Ask your doctor if new non-prescription IBGuard is right for you. IBGuard calms the angry gut. Available at CVS and Walgreens.
Ready to get real? Go to drphil.com for advice on relationships, parenting, finances, and more. Plus, weigh in on your favorite episodes, share your stories, and find support in the Dr. Phil community. When you sign up for the community, you will automatically be subscribed to the Dr. Phil Show newsletter. Log on to drphil.com today. Well, you know, as I've listened to this unfold and listened to what you go through, I want to remind viewers as they're listening to this what undercover means. And you're role-playing here.
Yes.
You're struggling to do it. Your discomfort is palpable as I'm listening to it, but you're handling it. But all of a sudden, the price of poker, as we say in Texas, goes way, way up. Because we're now about 4 years in the relationship with Jared, and all of a sudden, he brings your own children into this sick world. He brings your own children up into this conversation as potential victims. Jared Fogle was placed on house arrest, but was granted special permission to leave to receive treatment for his sexual interest in minors. Now, 10 of Fogle's victims have received $1 million. That's $100,000 each as restitution. The audio we played today is truly shocking, but this is just the beginning. You won't want to miss part 2 of this exclusive tomorrow. We have even more unbelievable audio of Jared Fogle. If you think what you heard today is unsettling, you will not believe what Fogle finally said that made Rochelle hit her breaking point.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
It's a rogues gallery of deviant behavior.
Jared Fogle is a monster.
10 and 11.
We let me see your kids naked.
Just when you thought it couldn't get more shocking,
He wants you to watch him have sex with a young girl, watch you perform sex acts with a 10-year-old boy.
It does.
Tell me about the best time with a little girl or a little boy. How old?
Like 11, 12, something like that. I just it was wonderful.
That's tomorrow.
Now, if you want to join the conversation, use hashtag Dr. Phil and hashtag Jared Fogle. For more information on today's show, log on to drphil.com. Thanks for watching.